Okay, Coach, coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. A few short moments ago, these two teams made their way out of the Ford Field tunnels, and the noise level in this place just about off the charts. They are set for football as the Lions get ready to do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. Now, whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Johnson, second-year man out of Auburn. The game's first play produces 6 yards, brings up second down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
It's a pickup at 6. Brings up second and 4 at the 31-yard line.
They'll come up now second and 4 from the 31.
Check. 50-50. Easy alert.
Stafford. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. They were looking to throw, holding on the big right tackle.
That's real simple, partner. Keep your hands inside in the chest area. You're probably okay. You get it out on the shoulders, get them wide. Usually going to pick up a holding call.
They'll come up now on a second and long after the hold.
Double dog, that's the way.
Out of the gun, Stafford. And that is incomplete. Johnson was the intended receiver, and it's third down.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
So certainly not the start they were looking for here as they come up on a 3rd and 14. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. So certainly not the start they were looking for here as they come up on a 3rd and 14.
Double right. Mike 50. All day, dog.
A shotgun snap for Stafford. Got a man, it's Amendola. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there at 22.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
It's a gain of 14 and a first down for Detroit. So back-to-back big runs picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
And they didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
So the 14 yards actually takes them from 143 to the other for 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Stafford. He'll get this one to Galladay. A gain of 6 there on 1st.
Many teams, as soon as they spot man defense, if they haven't called a hitch, they'll get to it as fast as they can. They want to put the ball in the hands of one of their best playmakers and hope that he can break a tackle on the outside and go for big yardage.
Six yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's 2nd and 4.
Hey, Delta. Mike 54. Mike 54.
Here's Stafford. Complete. It's Johnson. And he's going to be stopped up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on that one, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. They tried to swing it out left into the flat, but the defense, they were very principled there.
It felt very West Coast offense, didn't it? You know their expression, right? On a West Coast offense, when they throw the ball, it's either going to be a touchdown or a check down, meaning they like to press it downfield. If they don't have it, swing it out, which is exactly what we saw there. But how about the great pursuit and tackle to make a nice play?
Mike 55. Right there in the middle. 55.
From the gun on 3rd down, Stafford. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. And the 12-year veteran knocks it right through. And the Lions are going to take a 3-0 lead. So the opening drive does yield points, maybe not the 7 they wanted, but they'll take the 3.
Accumulating first downs does not go up on the scoreboard, but it does go into the DNA of a team that's trying to establish itself to start a game. That has to feel pretty good for them. They'll take the 3.
Yeah, they had 3 first downs and 3 points. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the 1st down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the end routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
On 2nd and 11 now. Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's one that has to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the 1st down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Agnew now to return. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's 2nd and 12.
Check. Rerun.
To throw is Stanford. James has got it. Complete. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
It's caught. Jones. And brought down, but not before they're able to get it up to the 25. He'll get 17 that time, and the Lions have a first down.
First and 10.
Hey. I'm coming up to you. I'm tied red. Hey, one set. Check, Mike.
On first down at Stanford. He gets this one to Johnson. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of it.
And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out, and the Vikings pick up the football. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Charles.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
We'll be singing in the shower postgame. Extra point up and good by Bailey. And that makes it a 7-3 lead. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Here we go. 5. 54 is Mike. Check. Watch 54. We ain't giving up nothing today.
Stafford on first down. Caught by Jones. The catch and run pays off for 29 yards. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Here's Ty Johnson, rookie 6-rounder from Maryland. A solid run on first down, gain of 7, leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
It's a gain of 7. Brings up 2nd and 3.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Second quarter action now from Detroit, and it's the homestanding Lions who have the football as they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3. Back to throw, Stafford. Open man is Galladay, complete. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
Lions, first down. First and 10 at the 29-yard line.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10. To the right and complete to Galladay. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a first down. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense. On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because you...
And he has his receiver. That's Jones. Lions touchdown. Marvin Jones. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are going to jump back in front. Now Matt Prater for the point after. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive, and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. From the 21, it's second and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. Up past the 25 to the 26, a gain of 5.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Cousins from the gun on third. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. The ex-Iowa Hawkeye Mike Daniels in for the sack.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
6 yards was the pickup on the last completion, so here's second and 4. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a third down.
It's now third down and 6.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on third down.
59! Go! 54! Mike, 54! I got one!
Here's Stafford. Looking for Jones, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. Those free safeties, they get to sit back there if they've got good pass rushers like this team does. Read like a book. He read it like a book and took it in for 6.
And if they use their eyes well and their anticipation skills, they can make big plays, just as what we saw, a free safety's dream. Follow the football, go to it, and take it the other way.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
You ain't doing nothing today. You ain't doing nothing today.
They begin the drive with Johnson. And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Now Stafford. He'll find a man over the middle. It's Galladay. And this one will go to the 28-yard line.
It's a gain of 7. Makes it 3rd and 4.
Set. Waiting. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Come on, baby. Come on. Zero.
Stafford. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Daniil Hunter able to record his 5th sack of the season. On 4th down, here's Sam Martin on to kick it away. They punted 3 times in the loss last week as he sends this one away. This is taken at the 15. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. Our first update now comes from Atlanta. An early lead in that game for the Falcons. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Come on. Right. He's done.
On 2nd and 12, Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
It's a gain of a yard. And it's 3rd down.
You must be dreaming. Hey, Mike 52. Mike 52. I'm going to run you over. I know, easy. Where's 52? Watch 52. 52's the mic. Hey. Wait that.
On 3rd down, Cousins. He'll have a first down past the 40. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. They get 14 there. First down, Vikings.
A gain of 14.
He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down.
And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. Now Cousins. He's going to go up top for the end zone. And that will be incomplete. Would have been a big hitter if they had connected. Instead, it's second down.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28.
Alert 3, alert 3, alert 3. 300.
To the air again, it's Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. The Vikings going to use their third and final timeout as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. The Vikings on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. Here it's 3rd and 3. Throwing, Cousins. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
That's a good job there creating the contact to force the incompletion. And now since it's 4th down, that should set up a field goal situation.
And a nice sigh of relief defensively to be able to hold them to 3. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that, and we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe...
Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Danielle Hunter in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And there is a flag as he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. But who's this going to be against? Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that one looked pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands Having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead now. They'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
On the carry, it's Cook. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Mike Daniels makes the tackle.
Watch out. Tie it right. Hey. You got three. Three down.
Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And it's going to be another first down as they'll get him to the ground at the Lions' 40.
And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And the return stops just a few yards shy of midfield. They'll spot the ball at the 47-yard line.
Well, partner, they went empty set there. No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb it.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. There for the sack, Everson Griffin. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
After the sack, it's 2nd and 19, and the road gets a bit tougher from here. Stafford. He finds his man Johnson. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. Touchdown, Detroit! Marvin Jones with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year, as they are an extra point away now from tying this football game. Extra point good by Prater, and that will level the playing field at 17-all. Nothing separating these two teams on the scoreboard as the kick's away here. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
You always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise, it's going to be a long day for you.
And he's upended at the 33, following a good pickup of 8. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. Second down pass play got him 8 yards. Now they've got a 3rd and a couple remaining. From the gun, here's Cousins. And he's able to find Diggs. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. He'll get 15 and a Vikings first down.
First down, Vikings.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Rudolph on the receiving end from Cousins. And he is able to take this way down into Detroit territory. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big game. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5. Play clock down to 2, and we get a signal and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Second and 5 now. Cousins. And he's got it. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
First and goal, Minnesota.
They come out here in the eye.
You gonna see me in your nightmare, son. You gonna see me in your nightmare. What's that?
They'll run for it with Cook. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook, his 3rd touchdown now on the year, as his guys are able to regain the lead. Now Bailey to tack on the extra point. And they will take a 7-point lead now.
Next to score, Vikings 24, Lions 17.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Mike 42, check. Mike 42. 32.
On first and 10, Stafford. Open man, he's got him, the tight end, Hockenson. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. First down, Detroit, 16 yards on the pickup. From all the way up at the 38 now after a good start to the drive. Johnson. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
A gain of 9 brings up 2nd and 1 at the 47-yard line.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard.
Hey, 54. Check Mike 54. Mike 54. I'm coming after you. Hey, Haywood. 22. Mike 54. Target.
Now it's Stafford. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The intended target, T.J. Hawkinson, and it's 3rd and short.
Incomplete. Xavier Rhodes on the coverage.
They tried the throw on 2nd down, unsuccessful. Now it's 3rd and 1.
Hey, get it. Check, 55 to Mike. Check. Hey. Here we go. Mike 55. Hey, eat.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. They end up getting stuffed twice after that 9-yard gain back on 1st down. So both teams trade touchdowns in the 3rd as we're through 3 quarters of play. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here's Sam Martin now, as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And this will hit just beyond the goal line as it's into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They have the lead, obviously, late in the game. I guess the good news for them is if for some reason they would make a mistake, a field goal does the opposition no good.
Everyone loves to have a little bit of a cushion, and that helps you immeasurably. But the bottom line is, do all the things that you're taught in order to close out the game. Don't even let that become an issue.
Yeah, but still a one-possession game. This one not fully over yet. From the 27, Cousins, and Diggs has it. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
A gain of 7.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Looks like he's going to get a couple here on this 1st down carry, and that'll make it 2nd and 8. The tackle there by Quandre Diggs.
Brings up 2nd and 8 at the 36-yard line.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's Cousins. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Trey Flowers, the former Arkansas Razorback, in there to get him. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Cousins now. Now look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Picked off by Rashawn Melvin. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
20! And they move this all the way down to the 9. It's a gain of 34.
It's not a surprise when you read scouting reports and watch tape because you know he's a heck of a player. But he is so difficult to get down in the open field. They just want to get him the ball and let him do his thing.
If you're thinking of a comeback here, you go to 2016. That's when Stafford had an NFL record 8 fourth-quarter comebacks. But last year, despite playing all 16 games, he had 0.
Bravo.
Stafford now to throw. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. The sack by big number 98, Linval Joseph.
Second and goal at the Vikings' 13-yard line.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down. A first carry for the converted wideout, J.D. McKissick. And he'll be taken down here at about the 11. Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
A big play to start the drive got him in this position, but this defense has held firm since, and now it's 3rd and goal.
Hey, what's that? Check Mike 54. Mike 54. Hey, give me radar. Mike 54. Mike 54. Hey. Alert!
Out of the gun, Stafford. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise. Because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So an interesting call there to take the 3. I mean, I guess they're thinking that their hands were tied, but, you know, 4th quarter, that field goal might not help them that much in the air.
Yeah, eventually they're going to need the touchdown. The thinking must have been they didn't feel confident about picking it up there, hoping maybe on defense they can get better field position, get a turnover, get a better play, and then they'll have a chance to attack the end zone.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They start the drive with Cook, and I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the 4th quarter. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Dancing, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down.
Brandon, more often than not, you'd say they've had his number, and we can count them up so far. 1, 2, 3, 4 sacks given up. But guess what? He's still been able to make some plays, and right now they have a lead.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. Now Cousins. And that will be incomplete. Critical play in this football game because if they pick up the first there, that clock keeps rolling.
Has to be a little frustrating for them because they know that if they pick up a first down there and continue to eat away at the clock, really increases their chances of closing this one out. Now they're likely going to have to give the football up and sweat it out on the sideline.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
toe bashed it.
Super toe.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10.
Easy. 54's Mike. 54's Mike. Check. Watch 54. Watch 54.
Now contact up front as penalty markers come in. Who is this against? A little antsy on the left side of the line.
Yeah, I think they got the guy in the end. I think they got the DN there on that one. And let's face it, he is so amped up Wanting to get a good get-off on the snap, jump too quickly.
So this helps to start a drive. After the penalty, it'll be 1st and 5. Here's Stafford. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off at the 23. Amendola, the intended receiver.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. Nowhere to go that time. Might have gotten a yard up to the 25. And now here comes the third of their timeouts defensively. So they'll be left with only the 2-minute warning to stop it from here on out.
At the 25-yard line.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. They run it again with Cook. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They're facing a critical 3rd down now as they try to hold on to this lead. And he will not get there as they stop him short right around the 34-yard line. Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's Britton Colquitt now. He's been terrific so far. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. Fair catch called for right around the 11-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute it.
Well, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. These are the spots, this stage of the game, where it pays to have speed on the perimeter, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And in the 2nd quarter, he may very well run by him. But in this situation, I know as a defender, I'm loosening up a couple of extra steps that allowed him to run with him stride for stride.
Stafford now to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Everson Griffin in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Here we go on 4th. Stafford. He's going to let it fly. And that'll be incomplete with 11 seconds remaining now. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and that's going to be just about all she wrote for this one. Cousins just going to take this one down to a knee and end it.
A loss of a yard brings up 2nd and 11 at the 13-yard line.
So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And I tell you, these division games